Well, hello, patrons, parents, staff of Smoky Valley. We have some news for you today, but first, I want to give a shout out to my principals and leadership team. My principals are not even on contract, and they have been in here working throughout the summer, and especially right now, working on committees, um, leading teams, and helping with decision making for when we open schools. But first, let's get to the news of the day. The governor had a press conference this afternoon. As many of you already know, she has made the announcement that school will not start until September 9th, and she's made that as an executive order, not a recommendation that some of us thought it might be. But it's taken a lot of us by surprise, including a lot of educators who are now scrambling to get questions answered. What does that really mean? Can we start remotely? What about athletics? This is an executive order, and she has the power to do that with only the approval of the state board, not other legislators. Now, I know she works very closely with the Commissioner of Education, Randy Watson, and our state board, and they are, I believe, going to address that on Monday, and we should see the executive order early next week, if not on Monday. The reason was the rise in COVID cases, and bringing all these children together was a concern, and also to give schools an opportunity to bring their staffs together to have adequate protocol in place for delivering instruction and processes throughout the building to keep kids safe. We hope to get more information. We're planning to meet with our staff, our entire school district staff, tomorrow morning on Thursday at 10 o'clock, and we'll answer some of the questions that they may have. We have not yet heard from the Kansas State High School Activities Association. They did put something out today that said they will not have a release tomorrow of their recommendation. Now, I believe they're going to have to fall in line with the start of school on September 9th, but we're hoping to hear something from Keisha within the next week or so. They have been relatively quiet as to what's going to happen with activities, football, volleyball, tennis, and some of our fall sports. We will still have a special board meeting on August 10th. That is the day that we had planned to approve our reopening plan. As I may have mentioned to you before, we have 10 committees in place that are diligently working on different areas of our educational system, to put those all together, to have those due by October 5th to our board, and then to get those approved on August 5th, and then approved August 10th. I'll ask our president to continue to have that special board meeting on August 10th so that we can have some discussion about our reopening plan. We're going to have to take a stronger look, I believe, at the continuous learning model, where we are prepared at the drop of a hat to stay at home if we have to. But as we have said before, and we say again, our number one goal is to get our kids to school. But protocol must be in place. Our staff understands that things will look different. There are lots of questions. What happens if a child gets sick? What happens if a teacher gets sick? What's the tracing protocol? How do we handle those individual situations? And they will all be different. We're going to have to take this one day at a time, but we're excited for the fact that our goal is to get your children back in school. Now, we have taken a look at the parent surveys, and we have a few that plan not to send their children. So we'll be looking at a continuous learning model for those students. Hopefully they will have internet connections at home, and that will look very different from what it did in the spring as well. We'll plan to get more information to you, and also probably look at a series or several town hall meetings or a Facebook Live session where we can answer some of your questions. But if we are planning to start on September 9th, and if that holds, that honestly, if you look at the calendar, that's 8 weeks from today for our kids to be back here. Now, we know how fast things change. A lot can happen in a day or two or a week. I believe our county is now up to 98 cases, And I remember when we were 1 or 2, and we were proud that we didn't have very many, but 98 and still growing fairly rapidly. So we ask you to stay safe, and we'll bring you up to date as much as we possibly can. That's all we have for now, but if you get a chance to look at, or if you haven't seen the governor's announcement, it's on her Facebook page. And that's where she did that live this afternoon. That's all I have for now. Please take care.